Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And wow, you know, we got an extraordinary show coming your way today. And I tell you, I want everybody right now, just go downstairs, grab about 8, 9 bags of popcorn, get ready because we're going to bring it. So, we got this show, and two of my most favorite people in the world are here again, doing the show. I love these two. We're talking to no other than Dr. Pauline Crawford and Dr. Jim Omps. But we also got Dr. Patricia J. Glover going to be joining us today. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, primarily entrepreneurology. We're going to find out what that is. We're going to talk about setting goals. We're going to talk about being motivated. We're going to talk about being the best you that you can be. We're going to talk about a whole lot of things. So I tell you, wherever you're watching this and whether you're watching on E36 television, uh, Transverse TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, and over 55 other live streaming platforms, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to whichever you're watching it on, go to the comment section, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. So I tell you what, I want to get this thing started. Today, we are going to talk about from boss to visionary entreprenologist, validating your life journey to success. And that's what it's all about. Validating your life journey to success. And you have to do some things in order to do that. And we're going to have a sit down conversation with Dr. James A. Arms, also Dr. Pauline Crawford, and we got Dr. Patricia Patty, is what she go by, Patty Joe Glover. A brand new PhD. I want to welcome her to the team. So I want to get this thing started immediately. So I'm gonna bring on all three of the guests right now, and I want them to tell you a little bit about them. Normally Michelle does all this, but she's doing something else today. So I want to start off with you, Dr. Jim. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about you, what you do, and why you're so passionate about a lot of things that you do? Jim, I don't know if Jim can hear us.
Yes.
Hey, Jim. Okay, we'll
So
start off
you're
with you.
asking me?
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about
I'm looking at myself, and I think I look like the mayor of Monopoly Town. But what am I passionate about? I told Pauline when I first met her. There's two things in my life that I've always been passionate about when I became part of it. One is music. I started that trip at the age of 4. And the other one started in the early 70s when my late father took me on board to work with him in developing the the principles of entreprenology. So those are the things that I have remained true to. As my father before me, he wasn't a musician, and he told me not to waste my time. He said musicians don't make any money. And I can actually name a few who are multimillionaires. But hey, Dad, I, I never confronted him unless it was something that going head to head with the master suggestions, and that's one thing that entrepreneurology is.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
always in a state of development because things change. You cannot be so rapidly. So that's an easy one. There I am. That's me.
Hey, hey, Dr. Pauline, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about you? I know both of you all, but I want
Yeah.
them to know, just in case they have been watching the show.
I'm not a musician, but I love the rhythm of life, and I actually love to dance or dance, as they say in America. But I'm British, and what I love is meeting people And so when I met Dr. Jim in Budapest in 2011, he changed my life. I was a consultant in Great Britain and very happily going along, chatting to people and creating business. And then I met this man in Budapest, and he introduced me to not only Entreprenology, but the real music of life, which is his keyboard, which he's sitting in front of now. And when I came to Las Vegas the first time, for 10 days in which he proposed, we sang music. We sang every single day. He had 3 keyboards in the garage and we were singing every day. And I'm not a singer. So it was a magical, magical time. And I love just the energy of life and helping people to be more of who they are. That's what I love.
Wow. That's about 10 days, huh? That's absolutely wonderful. Dr. Patricia, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about you and what makes you click? Or what are you passionate about?
Oh, JC. Oh my goodness. Where to begin? Well, I had discovered when I was about 5 years old that I was actually an entreprenologist, but I didn't know it. What I would do is I would draw pictures and color them in and go around to the older ladies in the neighborhood and sell them to them for their refrigerators. So I had that entrepreneurologist spirit with me all that time. But through difficult times, and many people know my story because I share it on stages all over the globe. But I've gotten the title of the Goal Achievement Strategist and the Queen of Retaking, Reshaping, and Remaking Lives, Businesses, and Futures, because it's something I've had to do myself so many times. And I have created the systems that work together and able to do that, to get me from where I was currently finding myself to where I am now in life and business and where I want to go. And, so that's part of me, that just that entrepreneurial spirit is so embedded and ingrained in me. And then when I met Dr. Pauline and Dr. James, I had them as guests on my show. And this was a few years ago. And from the time that I met them, we have just been connected, and so it was a no-brainer that I become a student and enroll in the IUE and get my PhD in Entreprenology. So I'm just getting started on the journey with the PhD, but I know that it's going to help me to be able to go out and serve people on an even deeper level.
That is absolutely fantastic, because that's what it's all about. And one of the things that we're going to talk about, we're going to discover your entreprenology, DNA, ideas about innovation, overcoming challenges, building your network. All of these things are so important. So Dr. Pauline, can you tell our viewers and listeners that if they're trying to figure out what is entrepreneurship?
Well, that's a very interesting question. So when I met Jim in Budapest and he said, I'm a professor of entreprenologist, I just thought, well, that sounds interesting. I have no idea what it means, but it sounded like entrepreneurship. And like Patty, I think I always knew I was an entrepreneur, but I hadn't got a word for it. So for me, it's about those people in life who take life by the horn and actually create, innovate, design businesses, do things that are different. I mean, all the all-time famous ones are people like Steve Jobs, who created a totally new business sector. He created things that now are part of our lives. And there are other well-known entreprenologists. And although I went to university many hundreds of years ago, or a few decades ago, I didn't consider myself an academic. And when I met Jim, he said, but you're an entreprenologist. You've already done 20 years of work in the corporate world. I did my own research on wellness in the workplace. And I thought, well, yes, I have done that. And this is so exciting that you don't have to go and sit in a dusty library and read loads and loads of books, which, to be honest, I'm no good at reading books. You're actually in the moment. You are creating, you're being the designer of your own life. And so when it comes to our PhD, it's a professional higher doctorate in your life. And I just thought, wow, that's really exciting, as Patty says. And the more people that we can do this with, who can share their story, then we create a new arena. There are millions and millions of entrepreneurs in the world already. But if we create this higher level of talking about it, maybe we can even change the systems of the corporate world or the political world to make life better. That's a big, big vision. But I think to begin with, it's all of us here have a passion for what we do, and that's not learnt at school. Sadly, our education system tries to drown us in knowledge. And our famous line is combining knowledge, experience, and imagination. And Dr. Jim will tell you more about imagination. And if you think about music, music comes out of your imagination. Even though you're using a keyboard, you're creating music, you're creating sounds. And Dr. Jim has actually created many of his own songs, which you know about and we can share. But not everybody is going to be an entreprenologist. That's one of the things. It's our founder, who was Jim's dad, he said that, you know, not everybody is born to be an entrepreneur or an entreprenologist, and that's okay. We need lots of people to be working together. We don't all have to be that creative genius, that Leonardo da Vinci or the Elon Musk. We all can create something. If you think about the person who created the paperclip, that's really useful thing, you know, let alone the motor car or the rocket ship. And if you create music, it comes from inside your heart. I think that's true, isn't it, Dr. Jim?
It comes from inside of the heart. I'm going to hold off on Jim until we take the break. We got to take a break. When we come back, I think Dr. Jim is going to play a song for us. I'm hoping that he will, you know, but we're going to dig deeper into Entreprenologist. We're going to talk about some of the things that, about the DNA of that. And if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any questions that you might have, and I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, you know, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I'm up here just sitting back enjoying the conversations, and we just getting started. Just getting started right now. But just having you great folks here to talk about, and I love being an entreprenologist. I mean, I just love it because you get a chance to be you. You get a chance to do things purposely to help others and to help others bring out the best of them that they can be. But just like I always say, you got to want to be the best. You got to want to uh, get out and help others. You got to want to teach. And that's what it's all about because once you teach, you learn from others. We both learn from each other. Just like my great friend, Dr. Jim here, who's getting ready to play one of his beautiful, beautiful songs, and I always look forward to having him on the show. And, just he said we got to learn the lyrics to some of these things. And I think we need to do that to do this sing arounds. So Jim, why are you so passionate about entreprenology, and you done took it a long way, and it continues to grow. Tell our viewers about why it's so important, and you can talk to somebody for 5 or 6 minutes, and you automatically know whether they have passion and purpose to be an entreprenologist. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Well, my journey, obviously, into and through entrepreneurship for most of my adult life I was studying, if you will, with the master. I was blessed to have Dad, especially given the trip we were on. But when he asked me very early on in the early stages of the IUE, he said, I need something that will kind of tell people what it is we're all about. And he said, he asked me if I would come up with that phrase. And what I came up with after a couple of weeks was bringing knowledge, experience, and imagination together. And in looking at the piece that you have, Dr. Cooley, where it says, experience is the life's teacher. It absolutely is. And experience coupled with what you have learned, and then because experience can either validate or eliminate various things that and knowledge is limiting, but experience is the teacher. And when you look to the future, it requires an imagination as well. So those are the three things, the three elements that both myself and the founder believe Entreprenology is, where it's going, and what it can do. And it was one of probably what is a gentleman recognized as one of the greatest scientists of our time, and that was you have to forget Albert
Einstein.
Who am I talking about? What's
Einstein.
Albert. Oh yes.
Albert Einstein.
He was one of my idols, because someone that is so studied and so well known for what they've come up with, and I mean, for being an amazing mathematician, he was also able to go forward. The E equals MC squared. They have tried to disprove that for decades. They can't do it. And that took imagination to come up with that formula. So the three elements, like knowledge, experience, and imagination, those are the keys to the future. And it's interesting because it's Tesla that said 3, 6, and 9 are the numbers that rule the universe. Well, that's three elements. So I think we're on the right path.
I think we're on the right path as well. Hey, and I'll tell you what, everybody has purpose. And you mentioned something earlier that you got in front of the piano at 4 years old, and you've been playing it since, or keyboard. Okay, hey, Jim, can you give our viewers and listeners a little tad bit of I love your music, by the way, on one of your songs. We're gonna do all we can to try to sing along with you, but we're just gonna listen to the lyrics. So can you play a little
Well,
something?
one of my favorite songs, I would say I grew up listening to the king of rock and roll, and Elvis Presley. He actually, not him, but certainly an excellent impersonator, walked Pauline down the aisle to me when we got married here in Las Vegas. And one of the songs he sang, and it's become one of my favorites. Wise men say only fools rush in, 'cause I can't help, I'm going to end it now, falling in love with you. I've
Oh,
never been the same.
absolutely wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And we've been joined in the conversation by Dr. Clement Johnson, and he has a question that he's going to ask. I asked him to tune in. I telling him how great being an entreprenology is, and about you great folks, and he wanted to just check it out and Clem. So you got a question, bro? Clem.
Yes, I was just wondering about the accreditation of the university, and if there are any success stories that you can tell us about, and especially, I guess one of my main questions is, how is business accepting this degree?
Great question.
How was business? What I can.
How is business in the corporate world? When I show up with a degree as an entreprenologist, how is the corporate arena accepting this degree?
Well, I'll take the first part of your question first. The question, are you accredited? Yes, the IU is fully accredited. Is the accreditation body, is it recognized by the Department of Education? No, it is not. And we were told that we were allowed to say that put forward that we are accredited, as long as we didn't make the statement that we are recognized by the Department of Education. And it was my wife, Dr. Pauline, early on in our relationship, that actually educated me with that direction. And what she said, if you are recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, you are automatically like every other university out there. And what we learned very early on was, if you want to do something different, if you want to take a different path, you can't, because the Department of Education, they have very, very stringent regulations. And to be the International University of Entreprenology, we went to the experts in entrepreneurship and entreprenology to assemble a group of people to accredit what we were doing. It's a little bit like, if you want to become a Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer, MCSE. Where do you go for that? Do you go to Harvard? No. Do you Stanford? No. Oxford? No. You go to Microsoft. Why? Because they are the experts in Microsoft systems engineering. So that was the one thing, and that was just a few decades ago now, that like I said, you find people as you go through life that look at what you're doing or look at where you've been, and they're very qualified to tell you, well, have you thought about doing this, or have you thought about doing that? So education, and I learned this a while back too, education is wherever you find it. Don't depend on a particular source or a particular government agency to tell you what you should know. And I go back to my mathematician. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge restricts you because you're bound by what you know, and yet what you know changes over time. Whether or not the particular expert you go to changes, that depends on where you go and what they're doing. But I really want to thank you for bringing that up, because it's something that I learned over the last 40, 50 years. I've learned more about the qualifications put out there by the Department of Education than I ever wanted to know. And they have a purpose, and it's very singular, and that's good, because we need the people coming from institutions that they credit. But if you're going to move into a future that nobody's seen, how entreprenology affects business, some of the most successful entreprenologists, and Pauline mentioned one, Steve Jobs. One of his my favorite quote from him was, "Fail early and fail often. That's the only way you."
Yeah, I think we're taking a
Bill Gates, look at Sam Walton. If you know who Tom Watson was the founder of IBM. All of those that I just mentioned, those four names, they never saw in their mind, they never saw what IBM or Walmart or Apple or Microsoft, they never saw those as anything but the businesses they became. But they're also very open to change. And that's, I believe it was Alvin Toffler who considered himself a social scientist. He wrote several books, among them Future Shock, The Third Wave, Power Shift. And what he said was, the future, it's out there for creation. We need people to create the future. And he said change is the one constant that you'll always be facing. You'll always be facing change. And he said you can embrace it, or you can fight it, but change is going to take place. And it's interesting. It was Abraham Lincoln that had a great quote. He said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." So I hope somewhere in all that rambling, that
was absolutely fantastic.
And
it was, you put it elegantly well. That was absolutely fantastic. We're going to take a station break. We're going to come back. We're going to get Dr. Pauline point of view on this, and then we're going to talk to Dr. Patton, get Clem on. We're going to have we have, you're down to about 3 bags of popcorn already, and we're not even halfway through with the show. So, tell you, we're going to take a station break. If you want to be part of the conversation, whichever platform you're watching us on, just go to that platform, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. Yes, your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah.
Always dream big. Dream big with your heart, mind, soul. Dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do. But continue to understand that you can do anything that you set your mind to. You can do anything that you set your mind to, but just continue to do it. So dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. I want to thank Unified Brainzy for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this great book. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
What if that road that you're taking's a dead end? What if love leaves you all jaded and broken? What if that limb breaks you're climbing out on? Yeah, what if it all goes wrong? But what if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if that road is a beautiful soul drive? What if that love ends up lasting a lifetime? What if that limb holds you oak tree strong? What if this time nothing goes wrong? What if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if you jump on a trampoline and touch the sky? Grab a cloud as it passes by. You
Hello, welcome back to James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And hey, Jim, I really enjoyed that answer. I think you laid it out there, and the passion just came out. And you was on the road, my friend, and really appreciate that. One of the things that Dr. Jim said, I think is so important as about being an entrepreneurologist is you have to be open-minded. You have to be able to adjust, and you have to not resist change. Change is inevitable. And there's two ways that I have came up with understanding change. Change, case in point, like when they told you about the television, everybody had the rabbit ears and all that. And they warned the people of the world, especially the United States, that In 5 years, we're gonna change from this. The rabbit ears, everybody gonna have to get a cable, gonna have to get something. A lot of people kind of push that to the side. They're like, that ain't gonna never happen. That ain't never gonna happen. 5 years came. All of a sudden, you go in, your television don't work. And like, oh, this no. They can readjust the rabbit ears. Change. My best definition for change is current behavior, plus vision, being able to see out. And that's what entrepreneurs are, entreprenologists are. Current behavior plus vision equals change. It's going to change. So you have to be able to adjust to that, the purpose that God had planted in you. Other definition of current behavior plus intolerable pain. I'm not going to do it. They're not going to change that. They're not going to do that for real. Current behavior plus intolerable pain equal change. You can learn with the brain, or you can learn with pain. As entreprenologists, we want everybody to get ahead and learn and understand that change is coming. Adjust to things, adjust to whatever you are comfortable with. I'm talking about for your profession, for whatever that is. Build upon that. Be open. Be willing to teach others. And that's what I see entrepreneurology as being able to change, being able to share your ideas, being able to let others grow, because we all, none of us is an island, so I don't know if I got it right, Dr. Pauline, but you can pick it up from there.
Oh, I think you got it absolutely right. And I think what's fabulous about having Dr. Patty here is that she's a great component of changing her life and having changes happen to her, aren't you, Patty? And I think also I love seeing change around the world. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of negative change going on around the world. But when you look at the sea of entrepreneurs, and in a way to answer the last question is, we're not necessarily here to change the corporate world, love to, but we're out there in a sea of entrepreneurs. So, Patty, you are out there with a sea of entrepreneurs. There are millions and millions and millions of solo entrepreneurs and enterprise builders. These are the people that we want to make sure have this credible title. And that meant a lot for you. So I'm going to pass it to Dr. Patty there about what it means for you to have your PhD.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pauline. And thank you, JC, for having me here today. Really, for me, I want to share an answer first with Dr. Clement. Think about Walt Disney. Walt Disney is really an entreprenologist, right?
Oh, yes.
He envisioned this whole Disney World, Disneyland, all of this imagination, and look at the business that it has created, right? And look at all the things, and it's continuing to grow and evolve, right? People have bought into and the understanding of what it can do. So think about when you say about it being accepted into the world, the world of the professional world, right? How many different companies hire speakers to come in and engage their staff, right? To get them so that they are able to go past and achieve the goals that the company's setting for them for sales, or whether it be customer service related. They hire speakers to come in and talk about these things. So I consider myself, I'm not just a motivational speaker, I'm an activational speaker. And it takes, when you're talking about working with people, it takes being able to understand where someone is coming from what they may have or may be experiencing, right? And then have them be able to look and envision what the possibilities are. So with my title now as Doctor of Entreprenology, because I have owned and operated so many businesses and been management in Fortune 500 companies throughout my career, And I've just taken everything that I have experienced in life and business and rolled it into the package and what I'm able to, and the difference that I'm able to make for corporations, for individuals, for organizations. So think about that, and how that, Dr. Clement, can be accepted into the world of whether it be corporations, organizations, Fortune 500 companies. I'll be on the stages speaking to their staff. So for me, that's what it is. And if I can share just a little bit, and Dr. Pauline had kind of thrown it over to me, talking about how the different things I've experienced in life, how I have been able to take that and work it into what I do. I had a childhood that most people couldn't conceive, let alone believe. I really didn't have a childhood, and I'm not sharing about that to look for pity or have somebody feel sorry for me. What I had to do is I chose that I didn't want to live a life like that, because I could have turned out every which way from Sunday different than what I am. But it is because, again, it must have been that an entrepreneurial spirit that I had in me at 5 years old, saying, hey, there's got to be a better way to earn money. And I was already out drawing pictures and selling them to the neighborhood older ladies to go on their refrigerator. Because of the life I experienced, I didn't want to live that way. There was something inside of me that says there's got to be something better. But with what I experienced, and it put me through 3 failed marriages. Now, when you think about that, don't you think most people would give up? Not me. I knew that there had to be something better. God put me on this earth and gave me the gifts and talents that I have, that he gave me to help myself. Right. So then after the 3 failed marriages, I came up with my philosophy on life. Life is like a jigsaw puzzle. And what I had to do at that time is I dismantled all the puzzle pieces that had made me the woman that I was to that point, and started putting myself back together one piece at a time. At that point in time, I was in my late 20s. And the motivational speakers and authors out there were like Jim Rohn and Bob Proctor. It's not that the information that they were giving wasn't phenomenal, because it was. But it just wasn't heart-centered, and it didn't connect with me personally on the emotional level that I needed. So I took what I learned from them, and lots and lots of reading and attending events and all this stuff, and I started putting together what I use today in my proprietary Conquering Skills education that helped me get from where I was to where I am in life and business. And so all those things. And then I finally, after my 3rd divorce, I finally met the love of my life. And I had many wonderful years with him, and we were able to do amazing things. We were snowbirds at an early age and able to live life that way. And then he was diagnosed with mantle cell lymphoma and given 2 to 5 years to live. And we got him into a clinical trial at MD Anderson. And then from that point, we got him into remission. And then just 2 years ago, on the 23rd of March, because this is the 28th, just 2 years ago, he was taken from me by the Poisson virus. And if you Google that, you'll find it's extremely rare. And with my whole life and everything at that point, he was my life partner. He was my business partner. He was my best friend, and all of these things. Well, just think about going bowling. When you go bowling and all the pins get knocked down? Well, in today's day and age, there's the machine that sets them all back up, right? But years ago, just think about when you bowled that ball down and all the pins were knocked down, then there were people down there that picked them up and took care of them. But when this happens to your life, it affects all aspects, all the dimensions of your life. All those pins are down, and you have to start picking them up and putting them back together. So hence the reason why I've gotten the title, the Goal Achievement Strategist, and now the Queen of Retaking, Reshaping, and Remaking Life's Businesses and Futures. And it's utilizing the tools that I created, that I walk my own talk on a daily basis, and I help others all over the globe to be able to do this too.
And I would like to say that, this is this entrepreneurial spirit, that if we could help leaders in the corporations to also come clean about their issues. There's a lot of mental health issues. There's a lot of challenges around the world. So it isn't just for entrepreneurs. For me, it's very much about changing the world that we live in so that people become honest with themselves. Don't you think so, JC?
Absolutely. Honesty and authentic is one of the things that you talk about even in your books. Honesty and being authentic is the only way that I believe that we can reach out. And I mean, because authentic is, they can pick up that vibe from you, and you can also pick it up from them when they're not. So we need people that as entreprenologists to be authentic, be their authentic self. And just like what Patty was just saying, and that's a remarkable story. I would like to be on the stage with you one day when you're saying that. But that's what it's all about. But we got to take a station break, because when we come back, Pauline and Jim, I want you to tell our viewers and listeners what are requirements.
Yeah.
There are requirements. Everybody's not good being an entrepreneurologist, So, and we ain't trying to get everybody to do that unless they meet their criteria. So we're gonna take a station break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about this a little bit more. Patty, you are incredible. I'm had to get you on the show and give you a show for an hour, and we're gonna talk about a whole lot more of these things. So if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
I've seen a smile convey I love you. I'm proud of who you are, and one that keeps us close when we're apart. Talking from the darkness of all that we've been through, it seems that there might be a way to leave behind the loneliness we've known and live again life of
Hello, welcome back to James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, I was very touched by Tricia with her story, because it takes courage to come out and share a personal piece of you, like what she just said. And when you're authentic, you share those things because you don't know that you're helping others. You're helping others that want to tell their story, but they are afraid of sharing their story. They're going to know too much about me. They're going to know, who cares? Who cares what people think about you? At least I don't care, me personally, because I'm going to be me. And so, Patricia, I just want to thank you for that. I got to have you on the whole show to talk about these things. So I tell you, we only got about 6 minutes left in the show, but I want people to know what the requirements are about becoming a potential candidate to be an entreprenologist and having the right frame of mind. So, Pauline, can you kind
I
of?
will. Yes, thank you, JC. I think it's very, very important that this is remember that this is a professional higher doctorate in your life, and you will be at a certain level of success. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to be as old as me, or maybe even older. We've got a wonderful PhD at the moment, Floribert Malabunda, who you've met, who's in his 40s, but he's an extraordinary man who's done amazing, amazing things in his short life. And your PhD continues. So, Patty will be able to add to hers. But there is a structure. We follow the legacy that Jim's father left us. I was very proud to meet Dr. James R. Omps, who was Jim's father. Before he passed away at 93, he was very, very enthusiastic about entreprenology. And his original work back in 1972, some of you won't remember that, that is our main materials, and we have principles and the creed. We have what we call a career assessment profile. There are various things to go through, and we are actually going to set up an induction workshop webinar. We are now in expansion mode thanks to recent events, and we're going to be expanding our remit across the world, but starting really to take a hold of the USA. We've already got faculty in Malaysia, and we are looking to introduce a kind of an assessment 2-day program, so people can come into that for a fee, maybe about $400, and then we can see whether they're going to be qualified to take it on, and then they'll enter that process. But remember, it's all about experiential. So we do experiential work earlier on. We want more PhDs so that they can be our adjunct faculty to teach the younger people in the world. I know you work with young people, JC, and so do all of you. We want to teach them, but we want our adjunct faculty to be able to be the experts on life. This is not in the theory books, it's not in the classroom, it's in life. So Dr. Patty can be a teacher of life to our students, but we need more PhDs. So that's our current focus, is to attract more PhDs. The process will be 8 months to a year, depending on how you apply yourself to the questions, and you build your portfolio and your life dissertation, and that will then get entered into the, if you like, the online library of the International University of Entreprenology. So our vision in the future is that with millions of PhDs, we'll be able to go into our online library and be able to look up JC Cooley and say, I want to follow that PhD. I want to follow Dr. Patty. I want to learn what the founder did. And you can be an entrepreneurial lawyer. You can be an entrepreneurial dentist. You can be an entrepreneurial personal developer. You can be an entrepreneurial. It's all about our mindset. So as we grow that, we're going to grow our board of advisors. And really, we're excited, even at our stage of life, to be in expansion mode and also bring younger people in, working at the moment with some kids in Ghana online. And, why not? The young people are the ones with the amazing natural gifts that we need to harness in the world. And dare I say, in Women's International Month, we need to harness the female energy of the world, because in our experience, women are amazing, amazing entrepreneurs. I hope you guys agree with me.
I would totally agree. We're down to the last couple of minutes, and I just want to say, Pauline, Jim, man, I love you guys. I can't wait to see you guys in 2 weeks. You know,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
JC coming to Vegas.
I'm coming to Vegas. Hey, Patricia, you in Vegas as well?
No, I'm actually in Maine, but I was just in Vegas. I was in Vegas for a recording of the movie, for getting my PhD certification there.
I saw it online. I saw
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
So,
hey, congratulations.
but like I said, it's not just what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in Vegas goes global. Goes global.
Go. I tell you what, we're out of time right now. I meant what I said, Patty. I would love to get you on the show real soon because I want you to share your story. I think it's powerful. I think that it need to be heard. Uh, Jim and Pauline, they know I love them. They come on show anytime they want. And so is Dr. Clem. Dr. Clem is one of my guys, and he's a potential candidate, Pauline.
Yes, we
uh,
welcome you. We're
yeah,
welcome you.
for this, and I just want to thank you all so much for taking the time to come on the show today. You will be getting an invitation real soon, Patty. You know, but I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on the show. You all are amazing. You all are doing absolutely great work. And I love being an entreprenologist. I mean, I just love it because Pauline, you and Jim taught me a lot, taught me the meaning of it. I didn't even know what the word meant. Uh, I did the online course and all that stuff. I learned so much. So I just want to thank you all for taking the time. I'd like to thank my wife, Michelle Cooley, for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Always remember to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life. We'll see you then.